Okay, so here is the menu edit screen. Pardon me. We have two menus here for a top menu. We have the title and we have page 1. It's only because we only used 3 clips. If you had any more than 8, remember we used 8 per page. If we had 9 tracks, it would go on to page 2 on top of that. But for what we're doing here, we only need, just a couple to show you what it looks like. So for title, if we double click that and open it up, we have a couple buttons here. We have play and we have track menu. There's a nice little smart guides too. If you notice, like if I move play up or down and then I kind of right there, you see those bars, those blue bars? That's telling you that it's perfectly in line with track menu. That's a good thing to a good thing to have when you're making DVDs, because sometimes your eyes kind of deceive you a little bit. But so we have play, track menu, and we have title. What I'm going to do is double click this. Just double click right on the background, and it brings you up the menu item editor. The first tab here is background picture selection. So I'm going to go to file browser since I have a picture saved, I'm sure, on there. I don't know exactly which one I'm going to use, but let's see, I have DTA, that's my Don't Trust Anyone comp that I made, which is the Steve Austin and whoever. So I'm going to use my main menu for the main menu, which is DTA1 main. Just going to double click that, and you see that falls right into place there. There's a little sliding bar here. You can make the picture, you could scale the picture. For some reason it's not scaling. Let's see. Well, typically if you drop a picture in here, you can scale it with this. And also if you want to add music, there's a BGM audio selection tab right here. I have audio displayed, but if you play around with this over here, you can set the menu to have audio, and then you go into file browser, you pick your MP3 or whatever, and you could start it there. But we're not gonna do music this time around. So once you have the picture in there, we're gonna go ahead and hit OK. And we still have our buttons here. And what I'm gonna do with the buttons is I'm going to change. So if I go to edit menu, I can change fonts for all menus, which means all pages in my menu, and I'm going to go ahead and change it to impact. We're going to change the size to 46. We'll change the color to white because it's kind of a black background, and we'll change the style to bold to kind of give it a little more visual effect. These are kind of big, but you get the picture. I'm just doing it so you can see what's going on here. The title, you can do whatever you want with the title. You can either include the title when you're creating the image for the menu, in Photoshop or whatever, or you can write a title here. I'll include it right on the menu. So this we can just go ahead and delete this. We don't need it, and kind of move this box off to the side somewhere. Couple quick things to show you. If you look at these lines here, this second line in, this box, that is your television viewing area. So essentially anything within this box you should be able to see on your TV when the DVD is done. Anything beyond there, you risk getting cut off. There's also, down on the bottom here, there's grids you can use which help you line stuff up. There's a big grid there, smaller grids there. There's the TV box. You can toggle that on and off. These buttons are already set up, and if you need to double check to make sure if they're set up, if I click on play, it tells me right here that's the play all button. If I click on track menu, it tells me right here that's the track menu button. You can change what they say. If I double click on this, I can change this to, if I wanted it to say maybe chapters. Click OK. Something to keep in mind, when I did that change fonts for all menus, it changed all the fonts for all the menus. So if there's something specifically you didn't want it that size or that color, you're gonna have to go back and manually change it. So this, it doesn't look great, but just so you can see what's going on, I think it serves its purpose. We'll say this is the main menu for our DVD. If we hit this arrow here, it's going to take us to the next page. We have track 1, track 2, track 3. And again, those smart guides come on, so it'll show you how to center it pretty well. I'm a real big fan of that feature. So if we go to track 1, we'll name it whatever we need to name it. We'll name it, let's see, first match, we'll say. Of course, you would name it whatever that match happens to be. You can adjust all the font settings here, the alignment, typical Microsoft Word type of palette. Click OK. So there it says first match. Double click on track 2. Do the same, second match. Click OK. Track 3, we'll do third match. Click OK. Return is set to go to the top menu, so that'll go back to your primary menu. Play is, again, play all. We can even switch that. I always like it to say play all because I think it's easier for people to understand. And then again, if you double click just right on the background, it brings you to that background menu. We can go into File Browser. I have DTA Chapters, which will be the menu I would use for all the chapter pages. And that looks good. We click OK. And there we go. So this will be the chapter page. And you'd have to go into every page you do new. So if there were, if it overflowed into a second page of chapters, I'd have to, set the background menu again. But so that's it. The menu's set up. There's a nice little feature here where you can go into and hit simulation and hit start. And essentially it'll show you what it's going to look like. We go to chapters. There's our chapters menu. We go to second match. All right. So we can go to top menu from here. Now, what I'm noticing, I forgot to mention, I don't like the yellow highlight on the buttons, right? It just doesn't go well with this particular background. So this is a good feature of the simulation because you wouldn't see the highlights until you played the DVD. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to menu, and I'm going to go into DVD Video Global Menu Settings right here. And in this box, you get a whole bunch of different tabs that there's a lot of handy stuff in here. You'll just have to kind of play around with it. But for what we're going to be doing now, we're going to go into highlight. And highlight 1, I want it to, let's see, I have the Heart Foundation symbol in the background there. So I want maybe purplish pink for highlight 1. And what highlight 1, or what the selection for highlight 1 is, when you roll your mouse over the text, that's the color it'll be. And then for action, which is when you actually click the text, that's what'll happen. Let's do gray. And click OK. And then we click OK. We'll go back to simulation. The other good thing about simulation is that if there is music on your menu, when you hit simulation, the music will play, so you get an idea of what it sounds like. So now it's purple when it's selected. Just rolling over, I'm not clicking anything. And then when you click it, it turns gray. So it's purple, and then you click it turns gray. Let's go back to top menu. And let's see, is there anything else we can fix up here? Again, like I said, what I would typically do is when I was creating this is an unfinished background, but when I created this background picture in Photoshop, and maybe I'll do a basic Photoshop tutorial when I get a chance, but when I created this picture in Photoshop, I also included the title, DTA, Steve Austin versus the Heart Foundation, so that way every DVD I did had that title, and then on here, in this program, I would do we can do add a text item. If I go into edit menu here, we can add a text item, and I would do disc 1. Oops, I got my cap lock on. And of course you can play around with the font styles and everything like that. So that's right here. Let's get it in a color we can see at least. We'll do baby blue. And we'll do bold, and we'll increase it a little bit so you can see. So now these text items, this is not a working button, it's just text. And it says disc 1, so obviously the next DVD I would do disc 2, and so forth and so on. So you can create buttons, you can create, non-button text items. There's just this program just has a whole bunch of really cool stuff. I haven't even gone through half of it yet. I just do what I need to do to get what I need done. So right now we look at simulation one more time. It's got my disc 1 there. It's got the play and play all, by the way. You hit play all, it'll just go start at chapter 1. It'll go into chapter 2 when that's done, and go into chapter 3 when that's done. Go back to top menu. The chapters link is working. Play all still here. Return will bring you right back to the top menu. Everything looks good. So we're going to go to output. Click output up here. And we are going to, let's see, like I said, this is a little different than the older version, so I'm still trying to get acclimated a little bit. So target size, we want to be a single layer DVD media. And we want to click the box here that says write to the media disk after output is complete. And we need to pick our DVD writer. And we have writer settings here if we need to adjust. So we can choose our different DVD players. We can choose the speeds, just like any other program that has a DVD writer. And we can label it if we want. So when someone is looking at the information on the disc, it can tell them or give them an idea of what's on there. So if I put, or test DVD 1. So now when you open this up in Windows, it'll say test DVD 1. So, the finished DVD will say test DVD 1 without having to play the DVD, so you can see exactly what's on there without having to play it. And then I also click eject the disk after writing completion, just so I have a visual. If I leave and I come back, if the disk is sticking out, I know it's finished and I'm not accidentally closing something that shouldn't be closed or whatever. And then after all that's said and done, we just go to start output. Pardon me, we get another box here that says the specified DVD output folder DVD already exists. The DVD output folder content will be completely erased before outputting. Do you wish to continue anyway? I'm going to say yes, because whatever DVD was, I don't care. I'm just getting a box here that says the media is not writable. I don't have a blank DVD in there, so if you have a blank